Yes 101 and 100.8.
Exclusive.
Right, Asa, let's introduce our guest for today.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have someone who is responsible for, I suppose, all legal matters concerning matrimonials, disputes, and ultimately divorce. Fortunately or unfortunately, he's the person who will help you in these matters. Now, this topic is kind of like a taboo topic. Not many people want to talk about.
Yeah.
But we felt like it was the need of the hour.
We should also mention, by the way, folks, that this gentleman is not an SA lawyer. He's a life member of the Sri Lanka Bar Association and a member of the International Bar Association, serving on its committees for Pro Bono Criminal and Asia Pacific Region Forum. He's also the co-chair of the incumbent National Law Conference Committee. Let us introduce Mr. Asela Rekawa.
Asela, good morning to you.
Morning.
Morning.
Hi. Asel, so let's dive right into this. On what grounds can you go for a divorce?
The grounds for a divorce, is it?
Yes.
Asanka, now, the Sri Lankan law,
Okay.
it recognizes only 3 grounds for a divorce. One is malicious desertion.
Right.
Then you can go on adultery.
Mm-hmm.
And the third will be, it's not a very nice thing, incurable impotency at the time of marriage.
Right.
All right. Okay.
Right? So that is the 3 grounds which is recognized by law. But there is a development through case law that there is a thing called constructive malicious desertion.
Okay.
That is where you create a situation for a person at a matrimonial house where that person, it will not be conducive for that person to live in that house.
Okay.
You mean making life
Therefore-
difficult?
Sorry?
Or making it difficult?
Making it difficult for that person to live. Therefore, that person leaves the house.
Right.
So that is also considered as a ground. It's called constructive malicious desertion.
Asela, now we bring this to your attention or ask you these questions because, of course, this is the second time we have gone into a quarantine lockdown. And there are lots of problems with people in their homes, domestic violence, husband and wives not getting along, children suffering because of this. So we thought it would be nice. We've already briefed our audience about why we've asked you to come on the show. Shall we say if a husband or wife continues to harass each other and perhaps the children, whichever party it may be, how is it, what's the first step to prevent it? Is there sort of like a restraining order you can get against them, or what is the first process?
Now, the problem is it's a common thing in this country where either part in a marriage, normally it's when you, especially when you have children, the parties try to take children as a bargaining tool.
Right.
Right? So they make the children a bargaining tool and they get this, we'll say, a lady, a wife to a marriage.
Yeah.
So wife is scared to leave the marriage
Right.
because she doesn't know, like if she leaves the marriage, we'll say it's an abusive marriage. She doesn't know, okay, if I leave, will he continue to abuse me? Will
Yes.
he continue to harass my children?
Yeah.
So second thing a lady will think is like okay, if I get out of the house, what is how am I going to support my children?
Yes,
how am I going to pay their school fees?
Exactly.
How can I feed them? Where am I going to stay?
Yeah.
So these are genuine.
Right? So that is, and the other thing, the third thing is like, we'll say a lady goes out with the 2 children, goes to the mother's house, to the parents' house.
Yeah.
Then what guarantee she has, like knowing that the husband will not come and take the children away from you?
Exactly.
So Asela,
Those are the things which will commonly get into a mind of a lady.
Right.
who will be living in a matrimonial house with an abusive marriage.
Yeah.
Asela, just to stop you there. So, what is the first step? Usually, in Sri Lankan households, if there's a problem, first it's disclosed to the parents or to a close friend, and a friend of a friend recommends, I know this lawyer, he had helped me in a similar matter or a friend's matter. What is the correct procedure someone should follow, or is it not a good sign for someone to reach out to a lawyer at first?
Right.
Okay.
So I think it's best that you go to a counsel and get a little bit of advice.
Okay.
So if I may to give you a little bit of advice, when a person will say a lady has 2 children, she's in a very abusive marriage.
Mm-hmm.
What she has to do is, when she goes out of the house with the children, she should make sure that the husband will not be able to come and grab the children from wherever she is.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one security a lady should have, the children should have. Because otherwise, they will not be able to go to school, they will not be able to go to a shopping mall. So they'll be living in fear.
Yes.
Right.
So that's step number 1. Then we have to make sure we get this lady and the children some sort of financial support. Right. Third thing is, if it's an abusive marriage, we need to make sure that the husband will not come behind you, chase you, try to hit you, abuse you, try to take the children. So there are 3 aspects we have to cover.
Right.
So I suggest to a lady like that, the district court is there. That's called the family court.
Okay.
And the district judge is the upper guardian of these children.
Okay.
All right.
Right?
Okay.
So you should get, initially you can go there and you can get an order, you can file papers and get a restraining order. You can get an interim order
Right.
from court,
All right.
preventing the husband coming from taking the children until the courts give him some sort of access.
Right.
Asela, can I ask a very unpopular question at this point?
Why not?
Definitely.
Does it happen the other way around? We are always talking about if at all.
Ladies in trouble. Yeah.
No. It's the other way around. We'll say, like, I'm just giving you an example. So we'll say a lady, she's having a very, very playful life. She goes partying, she goes clubbing, doesn't look after the children. She has an affair with another man.
Yeah.
Right. So the husband can also do the same thing.
Right.
Right. So the husband should have, because you have to think of the security and the mental state of the children.
Yeah.
You first of all, my suggestion is secure them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A child cannot be like whatever you all do, whatever you all fight, however you all fight, you should not put your child in that situation.
Absolutely.
Go to district court, get an order from district court, preventing either party from just coming to a house and grabbing the children. Otherwise, one day a child will be taken by the father, next day the mother, they'll be fighting everywhere. In front of the school, there'll be fights.
Yeah.
So go to the district court, get an order. Then the district judge will give you, because he's the upper guardian, he will look at all the aspects and give you an order. Okay, 5 days, weekdays.
Right.
Keep the children with the mother.
Okay.
Because she had been doing this, looking after. Weekends.
Yeah.
Take the children. The father will be given some sort of access.
How does it usually happen, Asela, when, let's say, if the mom is a stay-at-home mom, is she more inclined to get custody of the children because she spends more time with the children indefinitely?
So always the district judge looks at the best interest of children.
Right.
Okay.
So if the judge feels that the mother, she had been doing this, we'll say minor children, 2 years, 2.5 years, going to nursery, then always the judge will look at the best interest of a child. Father is working, so the judge will always look at that aspect and give more access to the mother, more custody, more number of days to the mother.
Okay.
And the judge will never prevent access if there is like reasons. There are grave reasons where a father should not be given access to a daughter unless we show that type of reasons. Normally, a district judge, they are human. They will definitely allow.
Yeah.
That's supervised access. So
Right.
give you like father will be given. If it's a minor girl, we say a girl,
Okay.
father lives all alone. There are other men in the house. So then judges will look at that aspect and give the father, okay, supervised access from morning 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
Right.
Okay.
So, Asela, your best advice then would be if you're having problems, go to a lawyer and get an order from the district court. Is that right?
Initially, that's with regard to this children's issue.
Okay. Okay. Can we go to a couple of questions, Asa, that have come in?
Yeah.
This says, I have a question for Asela. Let's say one partner in the marriage is being irresponsible and not providing financial support to the family whatsoever. What is the stand the other partner can take who feels the marriage isn't going anywhere financially, not abusive?
That's right. So that's the point which I was trying to address to after that. So this is financial support. So like even when you're in a marriage or if you're like stepped out of a marriage,
Right.
you can go and get an order from the magistrate's court. It's called a maintenance order.
Okay.
Okay.
Unlike the traditional orders which you get from the district court, the maintenance order is faster.
Right.
You go to a magistrate and tell the magistrate that these are the expenses. I have children. The husband was doing these expenses for this number of years.
Yeah.
He has the capacity to do that. He's an able-bodied man.
Right.
Therefore, please give an order. So when there is children in a marriage, the judges make an interim order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And if you fail to pay that money, it's a criminal action. So you will be, that is a criminal action.
Okay.
So if you fail to provide money, pay money, there'll be a jail term.
Right. Okay.
One
more.
So I recommend second thing for a lady or someone who goes out of a marriage.
Yeah.
If you don't have finances to support your children or support yourself, go to the magistrate's court, get an order for maintenance.
There you go. Okay. I hope that answered your question, my friend. One more, Asela. Hi, guys. Please ask Asela, why are the divorce rates so high in Sri Lanka? And why is it that people get divorced usually in their first year of marriage? Asela, I don't know if this is your expertise, but do you have an insight into perhaps why this might be?
That's a good question for a family counselor, not me. So I can.
That's true.
Asela, I'd like to ask. Do you have an answer for that?
Sorry, it's various reasons, Asanka. I can't tell you like it's not nice for me to divulge.
Yeah.
But it's so different reasons. It's like sometimes it's a little bit funny also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you imagine so? Yeah.
Asela, there's another message from one of our listeners. Says, is it more exciting or interesting to represent a certain, if it's a lady or if it's a gentleman, which side of the story would you like to represent more as a lawyer? Is there a bias towards that?
No, as a lawyer, I have to just say that it's a party who pays my fees, who can afford my fees.
Of course.
Of course, understood. No, that was a trick question. Here's another question for you from a listener.
It's a very tricky question, but I'll go with that.
We'll answer.
When someone is going through a divorce but not finalized, at which point is it okay to start seeing someone else without it being a problem?
Ooh.
Oh, these are very important question. Recently, a guy, well-educated guy, came and asked me, here there is this law called separation. He has studied the law about separation. And he said, okay, can you get we are separated for the last 3 years. So there is this law, why not you go and get an order for separation? I said, so what do you want? Why do you want us to go? Well, it's not, it's conclusive. It's very, the separation law, no one understands it. It's it's little bit vague.
Okay.
So he wanted the separation order. So I asked, what do you want? He said, no. After I get a separation order, then I can continue my relationship with the other lady.
Yeah.
So can I do that? I said, you can't do that. It's different.
Yeah.
So that's what they say. They feel that like, okay, you've been separated for a certain amount of time. You can. So then everything will go for then the areas, the grounds for divorce will come into play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although you are separated, you can't just go and have a relationship with another lady.
I see.
Okay.
Asela, another question. If a couple decides to go in for a mutual divorce, is it easier for the courts or the legal system to handle, and does it handle quite fast, expedited, efficiently, or does it also drag on and so on?
That's right. So it's honestly, there is nothing called mutual divorce.
Right.
You cannot. You have to stick to one of those grounds.
I see. Okay. All right.
So, but when it's mutual, when the parties are agreeable for a divorce, what we do is, so for an example, wife has gone to the mother's house.
Right.
So down they live in two different places. So we go on the basis that it's desertion.
Right. Okay.
So we don't say it's on mutual grounds. There is nothing called mutual divorce.
I see.
So we have the ground as desertion. We go to court, we file papers, and we can, like, when it's mutual, we can finish it off in like few weeks.
Oh, I see. Okay. That's nice. Okay.
Now that you mentioned that, Asela, could you just, in a very short answer, tell us the average time it takes to get through a divorce here in Sri Lanka?
Yeah. How long is the procedure usually?
Like you said, if it's mutual, I have finished divorces in 2 weeks.
Right. Okay.
If it's not mutual and it's contested, it can go for 5 years, 10 years.
Wow. Okay.
It can drag.
Righto. I have another question, Asela. I don't know if you can answer this or not, but one of our listeners wants to know, if I'm getting married to a divorcee, do I have a legal right to ask them what went wrong in their first marriage?
Wow.
No. You can't.
If you don't want to reveal,
you can do this. She can do this. She can go and get the proceedings.
Right.
The earlier divorce proceedings.
I see. Okay.
And just see whether it was mutual or whether it was contested.
And what the problem
Then
was?
she can just go and there must be a petitioner. A lady's name and address will be there. She can go and visit her and ask her.
Okay.
I tell you.
I'd like to end this discussion. Of course, we're in discussion with attorney at law Asela Rekawa, talking about matrimonial issues, disputes, divorces, and the processes live on Yes 101 and 100.8. This Zoom call that's happening right now will be available on our social media platforms a little later on, so that everybody can have a glimpse of it. In case you missed it, or in case you know someone who's going through a similar issue that needs this kind of help and advice, you can refer this link to them. One final question from you. Asela, when people get to a divorce, they hire you, they get your legal expertise and advice, and then finally the divorce is awarded to them. Are they really content and happy? Do they breathe a sigh of relief, or is it something that's, in
your experience?
What is it like? I have a bad reputation. Like some of the clans which I have represented, they have got married again. The same parties have got married again.
Oh, remarried, you mean? Oh, okay.
That's a good sign.
They have remarried. So, like, one of my friends, like, she referred a client to me and said that, and I told that client also, you all might get married again. So that's a little bit of a bad reputation, though.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Asel, it has been a pleasure talking to you, my friend.
Always, my friend. Thank you.
Pleasure is mine. Thanks. Thank you Thank you, guys.
All right, folks, we were in discussion with Asela, Rekawa, attorney at law. Of course, a very humble gentleman. Paul Thomian, by the way, we forgot to mention that.
Gem of a man.
Gem of a man.
Thanks.
Speaking to us on divorce and matrimonial
Thank you so
issues.
much, Asela. Have a good day, my friend.